In this video, we'll discuss students' rights and your responsibilities as an assessor. So this is the first point or first instruction point you'll see in the assessor guide. Some of the dot points listed under this section will be covered in later videos also. As an assessor, you need to ensure a safe environment when the student is participating in assessment tasks. So by a safe environment, it's one that's free from the risk of the student hurting themselves. So for example, if it's a practical assessment in a fitness gym, you need to make sure everything is set up properly so the student is not going to hurt themselves during that task or hurt someone else that is undertaking the assessment task with them. But a safe environment could also mean an environment where the student can go about the assessment task with confidence without unnecessary pressures that are going to affect them. So by unnecessary pressures, I mean people that are there watching that don't need to be there watching, distractions that may affect the student's concentration during it. So again, try and make the assessment environment as easy and comfortable for the student as possible. This may, however, change in some courses, especially later in the course where you may be trying to simulate high pressure situations. This might be an example. This would be a nursing situation where the student has to manage lots of pressures while still treating a patient. That the student is aware of their rights and responsibility in regards to plagiarism and cheating, which will be covered in a separate video. Recognition of prior learning. If they feel that they have recognition of prior learning, it's important that you point them towards the VFA staff member responsible for this. So your first point of call is going to be discussing this with your academic coordinator. The complaints and appeals process, which is again covered later in this course, they may want to appeal an assessment decision. So you need to understand this process. Privacy and confidentiality of evidence provided. So the student is aware that their information will be kept private and confidential and that their assessment task will be kept this way as well. And behaviour in regards to safety and anti-discrimination. Again, covered further as part of this video series. That the student knows the due date for each assessment task. Again, as discussed in these video series, VFA has a learning management system that releases assessment tasks at the required time. The students also receive an assessment details and arrangements which explains when each assessment task will be released and when it's due. They will get this at the start of the course. The student has been asked to make their own copy of the assessment kit, as original assessments will not be returned to them. Again, this applies when we are doing manual assessments, which is rare. In most cases, students will be on the learning management system where all their information, all their assessment tasks will be stored. And that the student knows how and when they will receive feedback on their assessments. Again, this is covered in a separate video. So to make sure you're compliant with all your responsibilities as a trainer and assessor, it's really important that you're familiar with the assessor guide, the student handbook, but also the VFA policies and procedures. And if you're unclear on anything, make sure you speak to your academic coordinator and or your manager.